There's a moment, perhaps you've felt it, when everything seems to close in. The silence in your room is so loud it drowns out your thoughts. The weight of existence itself feels unbearable. You wake up and wonder why. You look in the mirror and question who, and then the terrifying realization hits you. You are alone in this moment, and no one can truly understand what it feels like to carry your pain. But what if I told you that the very fact that you're feeling this, that you're still here, is proof that there is still something in you stronger than all that darkness, that your suffering is not the end, but the beginning of your transformation? Let's start here. Don't let anyone trivialize your pain. It's real, and in many ways it's sacred. Suffering is not something to be dismissed, buried, or ignored. It's a message, a signal, your soul crying out that something must change. The fact that you're hurting means that you are sensitive to what's wrong, and that sensitivity is a strength, not a weakness. The world may teach you to suppress emotion, to toughen up, to get over it, but there is power in honest acknowledgement. Pain forces you to confront the truth about yourself and your life, and truth is the only path forward. If you numb the pain, you numb the lesson, and make no mistake, there is a lesson, and it is worth learning. When life collapses around you, when structure breaks down, you are thrust into chaos. That chaos is frightening because it means you don't know who you are anymore, but chaos is also the birthplace of rebirth. When the old story of your life has burned to ash, you are given a dangerous but incredible opportunity to write a new one, to reorganize your values, to reframe your suffering. Think about it. If everything you depended on externally has crumbled, what you build next can finally be yours. Truly yours, and here's the hard truth. Responsibility is the path out. Pick up the smallest task in front of you and commit to it. Clean your space, speak honestly, stand up straight. Small acts of order create islands in the sea of chaos. And from that small island you can begin again. There is a reservoir of strength inside you that you have not yet touched. Why? Because we don't discover strength through ease. We discover it in resistance. In crisis, in those terrible, sleepless nights when you think you cannot go on and yet, somehow, you do, you must stop underestimating yourself. You are capable of much more than you believe, but that capability lies dormant until tested. You are not fragile, you are not broken, you are not doomed, you are becoming. The version of you who can rise from this pain is forged, not found. You must pass through fire, but you are not the fire, you are the forge. And what emerges from that process is someone far more resilient, far wiser, and far more whole. When you're suffering, it's tempting to believe the lie that nothing matters, that because everything hurts, your actions have no weight. But the opposite is true. In times of darkness, every choice you make matters more than ever. The future is not some vague, distant thing. It's being shaped right now by how you respond to the storm. Do you numb yourself? Do you lash out? Or do you slow down, breathe deeply, and take a single courageous step forward? That step may be tiny, almost invisible, but it's a defiance of despair. Every small action is a declaration. I am still here. I am still trying, and trying in the face of hopelessness is the most courageous thing a human being can do. Your future self is watching you. Make them proud. So if you're going through a tough time, know this: your pain is not pointless. Your suffering is not a sentence, it is a signal. It is the starting point of something sacred, something transformative. You are being asked not to break, but to rebuild, not to give in, but to rise. And no one can do it for you, but you can do it. There is something in you stronger than what you are facing. You may not see it yet, but if you keep walking, if you keep choosing meaning over misery, order over chaos, truth over comfort, you will. You are not alone in this. We all fall, but the brave rise again, and you are braver than you think. Let's begin with the simplest and most radical truth. Your pain is real. It exists. It is not a figment of your imagination. It is not a weakness, and it is not something that should be dismissed or ignored. In a world that often demands efficiency, productivity, and a relentless forward motion, we are subtly or sometimes directly told that our suffering is inconvenient, that it slows us down, that it is something to fix or get rid of as fast as possible. But suffering, if looked at honestly, is not some malfunction in the system of life. It is a central, defining feature of human experience. And the more you try to deny it, suppress it, or numb it, the more power it has over you. When you are going through a tough time, it feels like you're drowning while the rest of the world swims by, effortlessly breathing. You look around and everyone else seems fine, happy even. Social media floods your mind with smiling faces and filtered success, while inside you feel like you're falling apart. This contrast creates a devastating illusion that your pain is abnormal, that you are abnormal, that something is wrong with you for not being okay. But here's the truth. There is nothing wrong with feeling deeply. In fact, it may be the only thing that is truly right in a world so often disconnected from authenticity. Pain is a signal not that you are broken, but that something in your life is misaligned, something essential needs your attention. The same way physical pain tells you something is wrong in your body, emotional pain is your inner self begging you to listen. Not to run, not to distract, but to pay attention. That ache, that hollowness, that anxiety, they are signs. They mean that you are awake, that your soul refuses to be silent, that something in you wants more from life than what you currently have. That desire, painful as it is evidence that you are still alive, that you haven't given up. It's a quiet form of hope, not loud, not inspirational, but deep and raw and honest. If you are in pain right now, it means your heart still cares, that you are not numb, and that is more powerful than you know. It means you still have the capacity to change, to heal, to evolve. Your pain matters. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. When everything around you starts to fall apart, when relationships fracture, routines collapse, meaning fades, and you feel like you're sinking into something you can't define, that is chaos, and chaos is terrifying. It strips away your certainty, it disorients your mind, it clouds your sense of self. You look at your life and think, I don't recognize this anymore. You look inward and ask, who am I, if everything I counted on is gone? That's the part people don't talk about, how losing something outside of you often makes you lose something inside of you. But here's the deeper truth. Chaos is not just destruction. It is the necessary breakdown that precedes any meaningful breakthrough. When the familiar disintegrates, something powerful begins to stir beneath the surface. Chaos is the womb of transformation. That might sound poetic, but it's also brutally real. Because to rise from a shattered identity, to create order where there was once only confusion, is a painful process. It demands responsibility, and not just the kind that society talks about, paying bills, showing up to work, checking off your duties. No, the responsibility required in the face of chaos is deeper, more personal. It's the responsibility of rebuilding yourself from the ground up, of facing the wreckage without flinching, of looking at the chaos and saying, I will not let this define me, I will define myself. And how do you do that? You start small. You do not begin by fixing your whole life in one day. That's impossible. What you do is bring a sliver of order to one small corner of your world, clean your space, write down one clear thought, speak the truth in one difficult conversation, make one promise to yourself, and keep it. That's how you begin, because those small acts are not meaningless. They are foundations. They are what you build on when the rest has crumbled. And over time, those little pockets of order grow, they connect, they multiply, and eventually you are no longer drowning in chaos. You are standing in the beginnings of a new structure, a life that you are choosing, not one that is collapsing around you. This isn't about perfection or instant clarity. It's about finding the courage to move, even if it's just an inch, even if your hands are still shaking. That's how you bring order to chaos, not by eliminating all fear or confusion, but by choosing in the middle of it to act with intention. That is what makes you stronger. That is what makes you rise. There's a lie that creeps into the mind when you're suffering, a dangerous, quiet voice that whispers, you can't handle this. It tells you you're too weak, too broken, too tired to carry the weight you've been given. And in moments of exhaustion or despair, it's easy to believe it, but that voice is wrong. You are far stronger than you think. In fact, most people never come close to discovering their true strength until they are forced to. Adversity, as cruel and brutal as it feels, is often the only thing that reveals what you're truly capable of. You might feel like you're barely holding on, but the very fact that you're still here, still breathing, still listening, is undeniable proof of resilience. You've already survived things you once thought you couldn't. Think about that. Reflect on the past. Those sleepless nights, those heart-wrenching moments, the times you thought you were done, and yet somehow you endured. Not because it was easy, not because you had all the answers, but because something inside you refused to give in. That something, that quiet, steady will to keep going, is not weakness, it is strength. It is courage in its most raw and pure form. Real strength isn't loud. It's not found in moments of triumph or applause. It's in the quiet, unseen choices, getting out of bed when every cell in your body screams not to, facing another day when you don't know how it's going to turn out, choosing not to give up even when no one would blame you if you did. That's strength. It's not about pretending to be invincible. It's about moving forward even when you're afraid, even when you're unsure, even when the outcome is unclear. It's about doing what you can with what you have right now. And that's something you need to remember. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You don't need to be confident to be courageous. You don't need to have everything figured out to take the next step. The strength you're looking for doesn't come before the battle, it emerges because of the battle. The struggle is what awakens it. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You are not broken because you hurt. You are human, and inside that humanity is a fire that refuses to be extinguished. Even if all you can do today is breathe and try again tomorrow, that is still strength. It matters, and it will carry you further than you know. When you're in the depths of a difficult time, your vision of the future becomes distorted. Everything ahead looks dark, uncertain, and meaningless. And in that state, it's easy to believe that your actions now don't matter, that because you're hurting, stuck, or confused, whatever you do is pointless. That's one of the most dangerous illusions pain creates, the belief that the present moment is disconnected from what's to come. But the truth is the opposite. The future isn't built in moments of clarity and strength. It's forged in times exactly like this. What you do now in your struggle, in your doubt, in your exhaustion, will shape what comes next far more than you realize. When you're suffering, you stand at a crossroads every single day. One path is numbness, it's apathy. It's the quiet decision to give up, to check out, to avoid the hard questions. That path doesn't announce itself, it seduces you. Scroll a little longer, sleep a little more, pretend everything's fine, and distract yourself until the day is over. And maybe you'll feel a little better for a moment, but that path leads nowhere. It loops you back into the same despair, the same questions, and the same pain. The more you choose it, the more your future becomes a repetition of your present. But the other path, that's the hard one. It requires presence. It requires you to sit in discomfort and choose something meaningful despite it. To take action not because you feel strong, but because you know deep down that you don't want to stay where you are. This path starts with small, often invisible choices. Drink water. Take a walk. Journal your thoughts. Say no to what drains you. Say yes to something you fear but value. These actions won't immediately change your life, but they change you. They restore your agency. They remind you that you're not powerless, even in pain. And from there, real transformation begins. What makes this even more powerful is knowing that your future self is depending on you, not for perfection, not for heroic breakthroughs, but for persistence. For effort, the version of you 5 years from now is being formed by what you choose today. You might not feel in control of your circumstances, but you are always in control of your response. Every decision to act with integrity, with honesty, with courage, even if it's in the smallest way, is a vote for the life you actually want to live. And the more you vote for that life, the more real it becomes. When life brings you to your knees, when the nights feel longer than they should, and the days carry more weight than you can bear, it's easy to think that your suffering is a sign of weakness, a flaw in your design, or a failure in your character. But this entire journey through pain, this chaos, this confusion, this overwhelming silence, it's not meaningless. It is trying to reveal something to you, something essential. Pain is not a punishment. It's a profound invitation to look deeper, to confront yourself honestly, and to begin the difficult but necessary task of healing and reformation. Every tear, every moment of despair is part of a larger transformation that the surface world will never understand unless it has walked the same path. There is something incredibly powerful about a person who chooses to keep going even when they have every reason to give up. That strength does not come from external validation or applause, it comes from the soul, from the decision to act with responsibility even when the world seems to be falling apart, from creating order in your immediate world, however small, when everything inside feels chaotic. It comes from the silent victories, the ones no one sees but matter more than any recognition ever could. And most of all, it comes from knowing that even if you're not where you want to be, you are still worthy of effort, progress, and compassion. When we suffer, we often think we're alone, but the truth is, your struggle places you right in the center of the human condition. Everyone breaks, everyone falls. The difference lies in whether you choose to stay down or get up. The chaos you're walking through now may feel unbearable, but it holds the raw material for a better, deeper, more grounded version of yourself. Every moment that you choose responsibility over escape, truth over denial, and movement over paralysis, you're shaping not only your own future, but also becoming a source of strength for others, because someone, someday, will look at your story and find hope in the fact that you didn't quit. So if you're going through a tough time right now, know that it matters, you matter. What you do now matters more than you realize. You are standing in the fire, yes, but you are not being consumed, you are being reforged. And on the other side of this pain is not just survival, but the potential for wisdom, strength, and depth that only those who endure can truly understand. This isn't the end of your story. It's the moment where everything changes. If you're willing to face it with courage and take even the smallest step forward, if this message resonated with you, if it gave you even a flicker of clarity or strength in your darkest moment, then it has done its job. Remember, no matter how heavy life feels right now, you are not alone and you are not without power. Your journey matters, and every step you take toward healing and growth is a quiet act of bravery. Keep going, you're stronger than you know. If you found value in this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps this message reach others who may be silently struggling. Drop a comment below and let others know they're not alone. Your words might be the light someone else needs to see. Thank you again for being here. Stay strong, stay honest, and above all, keep moving forward. Until next time, take care of yourself, goodbye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.